Yo, remember my beautiful barn find? That's an absolute gem. And bam, more chrome. I found this old Peugeot steel frame. I want to build an e-bike. I needed to find a steel frame, something that's tall enough for me. 34-inch standover, it's actually perfect size. And of course I had to find one in chrome. These old steelies are pretty much the best to build e-bikes on. Kind of an oxymoron. Made in Taiwan. US Express. Peugeot, which is supposed to be French, I think. This thing was sitting in somebody's basement for about 10 years. He said it was his dad's and he finally wanted to get rid of it. The guy was really short, so it wouldn't fit him anyways. So the chrome's got a little rust on it, but I think it'll clean up really nice. There's no clear coat on it like my other bike had that I had to strip off. I think I'm going to get rid of these decals. I don't much care for stickers. I don't care much for branding either, so I don't know. More chrome. Thinking about a front drive motor. It's got nice little mounts here so I can put some racks on the back and maybe even the front. Because I got these wicked cantilever brakes and I got a hole here. Well, it's a sort of hole that I could probably use for something. Maybe some chrome fenders. I haven't ridden it yet. I had to fix this brake because it was dragging really bad. I had to take all this apart and grease it up, and I polished these levers. They were really crusty like the back ones. See how yellow and yucky they are? So everything seems to polish up really good. I polished up just this little bit of fork and it came out really nice. So this thing should be pretty sweet. We'll see what happens. Alright, there it is. I took all the stickers off of it and I polished all the chrome as best as I could. I took it for a test ride yesterday and that seat was absolutely horrible. I got this one I took off of this bike because I didn't like it, but I'll like it a little more than the one that was on it. I had to move the seat post up a little bit over max height. Did the same with that. Pulled it up as much as I could. It seems to be about the right height. I'm not going to get a longer seat post for it. It's pretty safe. The post is still down to about right there, I think. Somewhere around there. Took the black pedals off. I had these laying around. These are kind of cool. They're clipless. I took these off of my Schwinn. So I'm going to run those. I'm probably going to put the little clipless things on it, though. I need the bolts for it because there was reflectors on here I took off. I took the reflectors off of the tires, too. And then this big, ugly thing, big, ugly chunk of plastic. I just ran the wheel and put a utility knife on here and just kept turning it and turning it and turning it until I scored a big mark in it and I just snapped it off. So that looks a lot better. And everything seemed to polish up really nice. I mean, it looks really decent. So I'm really happy with it. I got a chrome chain coming for it because it's chrome. I'm going to leave the black cables, I suppose. It'll have a little black on the front too, so need a little black contrast on this thing, I think. I took my Big Apple off of my mountain bike roadie. It's a 235, 26 by 235. This rim's actually a little wider than my mountain bike, but it just barely don't fit. I hogged out this chainstay too to make it go back as far as I could, and it's not good enough. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. They look perfect on here, I think. It looks really nice, but that ain't gonna fit. I gotta knock that down to a 215. There's 175s on it right now, I think. Yeah, 26, 175. So I don't know, maybe I'll do a 2-inch. Well, I can do in the kitchen what most men can't. The voices keep telling me to stay home and polish the chrome. Unfortunately, I don't have any on this rear tire. This aluminum is not really finely polished. It's got a lot of deep scratches in it. So I'm not going to get too much shine out of that. Still looks pretty good though. I took my hub and I put my freewheel on it and I put it in the bike and I just spun it round and round and I polished that up. That looks pretty nice. Then these spokes, I thought they were chrome, but they're actually stainless steel. But they look pretty good. These are cruddy. I actually washed these and they still didn't come clean at all. So I gotta polish these stainless steel spokes. I don't want to buy chrome ones. So I guess I could call that like black chrome. As far as this ugly crusty freewheel goes too, it's a 5-speed. I found a 6-speed in chrome on eBay for a pretty good price. It should fit, so I bought that. And then I got a chrome chain protector for it too. So this plastic one that I made work, I'm not even going to use that. Got a pair of 2-inch Welby Marathons for this. Looks like those are going to fit really nice. My old chain guard was all beat up, so I peeled that off and put this one on here. You fish scales. If you want to get something like that, you're going to have to go to the bait store. I buy these for my musky baits. These center caps are not chrome, and it's missing one for the other side, so I got an empty hole. I'm going to have to fill that up with something chrome. Chrome. Put both of those tires on it just to see what it looks like. Everything fits. I put that 6-speed chrome sprocket on here. That fits real nice. It shifts. I'm all the way at the end of this shifter, but it works. Dun 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 dun. That's exciting. I put a new axle in it. Chrome. Repack the bearings. Nice. Put a new seat on it. It's supposedly got some 3M reflector stuff on it. It's actually black. You can't tell in the light with the flash on. Spoon charge. My seat clamp, I just acid dipped this in muriatic acid. It got all the tarnish off pretty good, so it looks zinc enough. Looks like it might need some more chrome. I found a chrome rack pretty cheap on eBay for this thing because I probably got to put some big, ugly, gaudy battery on it. Seemed to look pretty nice. I think this was for a cruiser bike though. It says it's for a 26-inch bike. This hole though was 3/8 because they wanted it in the axle. And I wanted to put it up here because I got an accessory hole for it. So this bar was bent up and it sat down farther. So I tried to straighten this out as best as I could without wrecking the chrome. Seems to be nice and square. Looks really nice. It didn't have any hardware either. So I went on eBay and I bought some 5mm by 0.8 Allens. And that was kind of cool too because I could fill up these holes too because the Allens here I couldn't clean up. They were really rusty and ugly. And then I had to go to the hardware store and find some chrome washers for it. And I put one on each side. And this is like a 5/16 hole. So I put some O-rings in the center of this so it stays centered and it doesn't wiggle around and I can torque it down. And I did the same thing with this 3/8 hole. I found some bigger O-rings for that. And then I found some chrome nuts at the hardware store too, and I put it back here just so I don't have to use a lock washer or any kind, because the lock washers usually always wreck the chrome. So that should be pretty cool. I still think it needs more chrome though. Scored some old school chrome pedals off of Craigslist. Got some chrome valve stem caps and sleeves. They're from a car, they kind of don't fit right. Yeah, this still isn't doing it for me though. I need more chrome. I found some stainless set screws at the hardware store, so I took them Allens out. I put some blue Loctite in there with those stainless set screws, and that looks a lot cleaner. These e-bikes come with mounts so you can put the battery and the controller on the frame, but I'm not going to do any of that. I want this all nice and clean and open looking. Now that I got this thing all put back together, I'm going to see how much it weighs. This thing is a really heavy duty, heavy bike. I'm guessing it's about 30 pounds, maybe more. We'll see. Here's how I'm going to go about this. I'm going to turn this regular bathroom scale on. It says I'm 180.6 bag of mostly water. Now I'm going to hold on to the bike and I'm going to stand on this scale and weigh it again. 215.6. Wow. So that's a 35-pound bike. Oh, they built this thing real heavy. I got more chrome in the mail today. I decided against the zinc seat post that I cleaned up. Got a chrome one instead. That seemed to look a lot fancier. Now there's 3 different ways you can drive these e-bikes. You can drive it in the front, you can drive it in the rear, or you can drive it in the center where it drives off of the sprocket. And I decided against all of that because the sprocket one has hose clamps and weird stuff mounting it on, and it looks just terrible and black and ugly. And the back one, I don't like that idea either, just because it takes away from all of that, what it is. So I'm deciding to do a front motor. And a lot of people are like, oh, you don't want to do a front motor because it's dangerous, because you drive the motor and it can just drop right out and you crash and die. It can break the fork right in here. It spreads them open, especially the aluminum ones and the carbon fiber ones. So a lot of people are hating on the front drive motor. I kind of like the idea because I think it's going to balance out the bike a little better, and it's going to look a lot cleaner. So to keep people from dying from this system, there's people that designed this goofy little torque arm thing here. That's what they call it. And apparently the people that designed this, the Chinese, pretty much stole their intellectual property, and they make a bunch of these. And the people that invented this, they no longer make this anymore. It goes on here like this, and then you put a hose clamp around here, and then it's supposed to keep the axle from spinning and flying out, which is kind of goofy. I don't know. I think this is about the cheesiest thing ever. Like the pendulum effect. Oh, what happened there? Oh, and then you die. Plus, I don't want to be putting some cheesy hose clamp on my chrome. Why would I want to do that? So the people that originally manufactured this, they say they got a better one. They got one of these goofy things that got an arm you can put 2 hose clamps on instead of 1, because apparently their methodology is 2 is better than 1. And then they got another one where you got this goofy thing and you got a little bar with a little slider adjuster thingy on it that bolts here and here, so this bolt can loosen up and you can still die. So apparently those are my only options, and I think they're both pretty stupid. Another thing I don't like about this is they make this bracket big enough so it fits 12 or 14 millimeter, because the flat is like 10 millimeters wide here and here, so that's the same diameter, but the axle could be 12 or 14 millimeter. So if you got a 12 millimeter axle, you got 2 millimeters to rattle around in here. Apparently a 12 millimeter axle is what I'm going to be getting, because I'm going to run a 500 watt. They got 1,000 watts too that run about 30 miles an hour and they're gearless, and a 500 watt that's got gears in it, and that's the one I'm going to run. Apparently it's more efficient and it's slower, and well, it's not black. So that's the biggest reason why I got it, because everything now is black, because apparently China, the people that make all of this stuff, got no class, no style, and no chrome. So I decided to fabricate my own idea, and I came up with this. It's 12 millimeters, so that should fit my 12 millimeter axle. and it sits up here just right. Hey, why didn't somebody else think of that? There's probably not enough of these bikes with the 2 accessory holes on the front fork for somebody to even bother manufacturing something like this or something, I don't know. But I got one for each side, and I try to figure out what kind of metal to make this out of. So I just used, I went to the hardware store and I found some stainless steel hinges. And that's what I made this out of. And hinges are like tool steel. I could literally make wrenches out of this stuff. It's very strong, very tough. It's very hard to drill. It's the same kind of stainless steel that a person that manufactures a safe would use for their hinges. So it's really good stuff. It even sounds like good stuff. So that's some nice high tensile strength stainless steel. I got a little more chrome coming in the mail. I got that kit coming in the mail. Hopefully this will fit. I'm pretty much all caught up with this thing until I get more stuff. I think that's enough shiny stuff to satisfy my strange desires. I put some aluminum fenders on it. I was thinking about stainless steel. I couldn't find chrome for this. They don't really make them for mountain bikes. It's all beach cruiser stuff, so I had to find something that I thought might fit. I had to make some brackets and extensions here and down there. That one right there. I don't know. I could probably get them shinier and polish them some more. It's a lot like dealing with a pop can. Not really cool. But whatever, they're on there. Put a front rack on it too. I'm going to be needing that for stuff. Satisfied enough? Well, I don't know how many days later it's been, but this thing's a roller again, finally. I'll be getting my e-bike kit tomorrow. I decided to put some different cables on it. They're braided. And I got chrome ferrules for it too at the LBS. Because this kit came with black ferrules and they stick out about an inch and they look like... I got some new brake handles too, because I didn't like these cruddy things. So LBS guy gave me a good deal on those used. There's no adjusters on the ends of these either. They're just really cruddy. I didn't like them at all. Then I got this tool bag I've had for I don't know how many years. I can't remember what Harley this thing came off of, but I kept it. I don't know why. It was as hard as a rock, and it was just filthy and grimy because there was tools in here, and it was all oily inside. So I cleaned it out really good, and I conditioned it and made it soft again. I had to clean it with Dawn and water like 3 times. I soaked it and cleaned it and blew it out. Put some mink oil on it. It's got some little cracks in it. It looks weathered, but I think it looks really cool. I'm going to put my controller and all my wiring in there because there's going to be a god-awful lot of extra wiring that I got to loop up and stuff somewhere. Then I got these anti-vibration things. These came off of a Buell. Yeah, I polished these up. I had a Buell White Lightning that I used to beat on for a little while. Those came off of it for whatever reason. I thought it'd be kind of cool just to put them on here. So I got a little bit of Harley Davidson on my chrome bike. I got a whole bunch of chrome bolts too. I don't know how much money in chrome bolts I got here from Harley Davidson's, but most of this came off of a shovel head that I owned. I figured I'd break those out and maybe I could use some of that for something, but nah, nothing. It's all standard. It's all too big. But I don't know, maybe I'll post a video now and I'll do that e-bike build separate. Okay, bye.